Welcome folks to Secrets of the Ancients. If you'd like to watch this and future videos, do us a favor, will you? Support us by subscribing, liking and leaving a comment. It really helps us keep going. Let me tell you some of the most incredible facts about Africa, and by the end of this you'll hear about what might be a real natural nuclear reactor. Or could it actually be a storage site for spent alien nuclear fuel? Let's begin with one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in Africa. Back in 1990, archaeologists made a strange and fascinating find in West Africa, a bizarre blue stone that looked man-made, possibly created by some kind of ancient alien technology. Interestingly, no one has completely ruled that theory out. The scientist who found it named it Sky Stone, and after excavation, it was sent to multiple labs around the world for testing. The surprise? The material didn't exist anywhere in nature. Scientists confirmed it was artificially made. Its composition was just as strange, about 77% oxygen, with the rest being various impurities. One of those elements was iridium, a rare metal that, according to experts, doesn't occur naturally on Earth, and only comes here via meteorites. What's even more shocking is that local people already knew about it. According to them, the stones literally fell from the sky after strange craters formed in the ground. Scientists later discovered that the stone was buried in a geological layer over 14,000 years old. Wild, right? Now, I mentioned that the locals found the stones after the craters appeared. But is that really what happened? It's hard to say. What's clear is that these strange pathways and craters are real. They're found on Tanda Hill, a place shrouded in mystery. There's only one legend about their origin, and it's religious. It says a local god banished a creature to Earth, then sent his son to kill it. The creature supposedly hid underground, creating these deep holes. The god's son failed in his mission and remained on Earth, symbolizing death descending from the sky. Personally, I'm not a fan of that theory. Religious stories often have too many contradictions. The conspiracy theory version, that aliens created the craters, sounds more interesting to me, especially since the sky stones contain iridium which only comes from space. Could aliens have left them behind? That idea starts to feel more believable when you look at the craters themselves. Some are up to 70 meters deep, and scientists say they look like massive man-made mines, but there's no known valuable mineral on that hill. So why dig there at all? It makes no sense. But that's not even... Over the last century, archaeologists and explorers have found all sorts of strange things. One of the most incredible discoveries? Mysterious metallic spheres harder than steel. Scientists examined them and were stunned. They're around 3 billion years old. How is that even possible? 3 billion years ago, there wasn't any technology on Earth capable of producing anything that strong. Could they be weapon fragments or some kind of alien tech? Given their strength and size, maybe? Scientists have proposed several theories. Some say they were formed by microorganisms. Yeah, right. As if microbes can just create perfect spheres, and others think they were made by meteor impacts. Both explanations sound pretty far-fetched to me. Only one theory makes sense, that they were created by an ancient advanced civilization. That idea... Now let's talk about another creepy place, the real Beach of Death. When I first heard about it, I couldn't believe it actually exists, but it does. It's a sandy beach in the desert of southwestern Africa, and it's earned its name for a reason. Over the years, many shipwrecks have been found there, along with animal and even human remains. But it's not a toxic or disease-ridden place. It just looks like a normal beach. The real danger lies in the natural conditions. The ocean currents and waves change constantly, and some of the water there is freezing cold, causing thick fog to roll in. With zero visibility, ships crash into the shore without even realizing it's there. Once that happens, survival becomes nearly impossible. On one side there's the deadly desert, and on the other the open ocean. It's literally where people and animals go to die. A terrifying place, yet oddly enough, tourists seem to love it. Personally, I find it creepy and cursed. I've already mentioned the possibility that aliens may have been involved in Africa's ancient history, or that forgotten advanced civilizations once lived there. So maybe, just maybe, there's a lot more hidden under Africa's surface than we realize. Did they create this terrifying place? I mean, we already have weather-controlling technologies today, so it's not that crazy to think something weird might have been going on here too. It's definitely... By the way, I found some mind-blowing info about ancient civilizations that supposedly existed in Africa. Back in 2002, in the middle of the Sahara Desert, researchers discovered a cave filled with ancient drawings. Now imagine this. The temperatures in that region can go up to 50 degrees Celsius or even higher. How could anyone have lived there? Inside the cave, they found actual prehistoric rock art and hundreds of human handprints. As usual, there were drawings of animals, giraffes, elephants, snakes and ostriches. But even in what looked like normal cave art, there was something very strange. Scientists noticed that the handprints, which at first glance looked human, had unusual finger shapes. Even weirder. Some of the drawings showed fingernails coming out of the palms. So what if they weren't human at all? Could they have been aliens? And there's another incredible story that's been passed down through generations in African tribes living near the Nile. According to their legends, a mysterious group of light-skinned people once lived in what is now Uganda. They were known as the Bachwezi. These Bachwezi were said to have had unbelievable knowledge. According to legend, they built entire cities out of stone and could heal any disease. They were also able to scale steep cliffs with ease and even fly over lakes. But here's the part that haunts me. The Bachwezi suddenly vanished around the 14th century. No trace, no explanation. Where did they go? Why did they leave? And what kind of technology were they using? No one knows. So maybe aliens really did create those deep tracks in the ground. Maybe they brought those strange sky stones made of oxygen. Maybe the mysterious spheres were part of their technology. And once they finished whatever mission they had here, they just left. It's all just theory, but there's another shocking discovery that seems to support it. I was absolutely blown away when I learned that scientists found an actual nuclear reactor inside solid rock. Here's what happened. Back in 1972, scientists were analysing uranium ore from the Oklo deposit in Gabon. Yes, still in Africa. And then suddenly alarms started going off. Why? Well, uranium on Earth has three natural isotopes: uranium-234, uranium-235, and uranium-238. Their ratios are always pretty much the same. For nuclear reactions, only uranium-235 and uranium-238 are used, especially uranium-235 for weapons. Normally, the amount of uranium-235 is way too low to cause any kind of sustained reaction, which is honestly a good thing. Otherwise, we'd all be walking around on top of potential bombs. But the uranium from Oklo was different. The uranium-235 levels were much lower than anyone expected. Scientists actually thought someone had stolen the uranium, and you know what that means. If terrorists got their hands on it, they could make a real nuke. So the whole world freaked out. But there was something even weirder. The ore also had unusually high levels of neodymium-143. Most people don't care about that, but nuclear scientists definitely do. That element can only be produced during a sustained chain reaction. In other words, in a nuclear reactor. So what now? A natural nuclear reactor in the middle of solid rock? Shockingly, scientists actually said yes. According to their theory, around 2 billion years ago, the conditions inside the rock were just right. The uranium-235 concentration was high, the rock was porous, and there was water in the soil. These three factors triggered a natural fission reaction. The reactor would heat up, boil away the water, stop reacting, cool down, and then start up again a few hours or days later. This cycle supposedly repeated for years. Sounds insane, right? Technically, this should be impossible. Earth has plenty of places where this could happen, but it only ever happened in this one spot in Africa. That's because today most uranium deposits have already lost too much uranium-235, so natural reactors just can't happen anymore. So, do you believe the scientists' version of events? Personally, I think it sounds like a distraction, a story made up to hide the truth. Governments all over the world have banned excavations in parts of the African deserts. They say it's to protect the environment or keep scientists safe. But who really knows? Maybe they're hiding something from us. Who are those ancient people that tribal legends talk about? Why do we find non-human handprints in caves? Where did that nuclear reactor really come from? No one has solid answers, and that's why there are so many conspiracy theories. Honestly, I find those theories more convincing than the official explanations. Just take that uranium field in Africa. If the soil there is more like spent nuclear fuel than raw ore, could it actually be a massive waste storage site built by ancient civilizations or aliens? It would make perfect sense. These beings could fly, build impossible stone structures, and then vanish completely, like the Bachwezi. It's like there are more mysteries than answers in Africa. While I was putting this together, I started to feel like history, our entire understanding of it, is just tiny pieces of a much bigger story. And maybe, just maybe, the powers that be already know the truth. What if they've been in contact with aliens all along? And when you realize how little we really study Africa, how little reliable info we even have, the theory doesn't sound so crazy anymore. Oh, and I haven't even mentioned the buildings that have been found. We're talking massive castles with towers that don't even have doors, complex pyramids, traces of ancient civilizations buried deep under desert sands. Finally, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this journey, be sure to follow Secrets of the Ancients and keep an eye out for future videos. Don't forget to subscribe.